Okay, in this video I'm going to do a semi-detailed breakdown of the three parts, what I call the three parts of MLA citation style. We're going to go through 1, how to format a document using Microsoft Word. 2, we're going to talk about InText citations. And 3, we're going to talk about doing a works cited page. So let's get started. So the first thing we have to go over is what MLA formatting looks like. So if you look at the screen, you're going to see blank document. Here's some of the important things about MLA. Everything is double spaced, right? So you can start by first just making sure everything in the document is double spaced. Okay, once you've done that, on the first page of your document in the upper left hand corner, there's some specific things you have to do. You have to put your name, your teacher name, you have to do the class name, and then the date. And remember, dates in MLA are kind of backwards. So today is June 3rd, so it'd be 3 June 2017. And that goes only on the first page. It doesn't go in the header, just on the first page. All right, then you hit enter. Your title should be center justified. Goes right in the middle of the page. You don't do anything fancy with it. Don't change fonts. You don't do anything crazy. Just leave it. All right. Then the next thing, you're going to have your actual document left justified, indented once, and then you start typing your paper. So it's pretty simple, not crazy. If you're doing something different than this, it's not MLA. Okay? Now, there's one other thing that's important for formatting, and that is to get your page numbers in there. I had been doing MLA for years before someone taught me how to do this, and it made so much sense. So if you go up to insert, you go page number, it's going to give you a bunch of options. You want at the top of the page on the right, you just make sure you've got the last name and the page number, and you're good. Now, if you did that, what Microsoft Word or any other program like OpenOffice, Google Docs, anything else, they're going to update the page number for you. So you're good. All right. So this is what basic formatting for MLA looks like. I can tell within about half a second whether the paper is formatted correctly. So if I ask you to format it correctly, you need to format it correctly. It's not too hard. Plus, here's a nice thing. Okay, let's say you want a new document. You can get templates. I don't see one here. If you use Office Online, there's a template automatically for it. If you just type in MLA and you search, you get a template pretty easy. So, not too bad, not too crazy. All right. So, second thing you need to understand with MLA is how to do an InText citation. An InText citation is when you cite the source that you're using in the text. So, at the end of every at the end of every sentence, we use a source's information. Whether it's a direct quote or it's just their ideas, you need to include your citation information. Now, it's not everything. It's just enough so that anyone who wants to actually go find that source, that they can find it when you use both the InText and the works cited together. So it's not everything, it's just part of it. So let's say I've got a quote called English is cool. All right. Let's say that's the quote, right? This is how you do your InText citation. You notice right here, you don't put punctuation because that's going to go at the end of the sentence. If you put the period before your InText citation, you're telling the reader that the citation belongs in a different sentence, and that's confusing. That's not right. So you wait till you put parentheses, the author's last name, and then the page number. Let's say it's page 12. In parentheses, then you put your period. this right here, sorry, that is the InText citation. Now, to be clear, this right here, quotation, this right here, attribution, and this right here is your InText citation. Now, you notice what's not there? There's not a web address. You don't identify a paragraph. It's incredibly simple. And yet I have so many students get confused on how to do this. So, it's really not that difficult. If you're trying to do something else, please don't. It's getting you confused. All right. So let's talk about a few exceptions. There are some exceptions. What if there is no author and all you have is a title? Well, then use the title. Might look something like that. If all you have is title, include the title instead, and that's okay. What if it's a website and there's no page number? Well, in that case, you might want to identify a paragraph. And yeah, you could put, something like that. You could separate it, and that is a recent change with the most recent version of MLA that came out last year. So, 2016 update. Now, we need to talk about how to do a works cited page. Works cited page is going to be on a different page. So, at, let's say, top of page 2, we're going to type works cited. We're going to make sure it's centered. We're going to hit enter, and then we're going to go all the way back to the left. Now, everything, again, still double spaced, and you notice, again, here, because we formatted this correctly, it updated the page number, which is good. Okay, so there's 3 kinds of information you're going to need on your works cited entry. You're going to need to know the author or the author's names. You're going to need to know the title or titles of the source that you're citing, and you're going to need to know their publication information. Now, that's where it gets tricky, because depending on the kind of source, that publication information could be wildly different. You could cite a post on Facebook, you could cite a DVD, you can cite a book. None of them are going to have the same publication information, and so that's why works cited gets tricky and it's drastically different. But let's go with the common source. Let's say we're doing a web page, right? Okay, let's say again I'm the source, and so I'm going to put last name, comma, first name, and let's say this is I'm just going to put article title, website title, yeah. I'm going to have the name of the smaller source. The page is the article's individual title is going to go into quotations, but the actual site, that gets italicized. So it goes in like this. Okay? That's how you handle both the name backwards and then the titles. Okay, once we get it to publication information, that's where it's going to vary. So we're going to need to know how to find the site. You don't have to put the web address in there, in part because web addresses change. They're really easy for the people who code the site to change it, so that's why we don't trust them necessarily. Now, if you look in your textbook, there's a section at the end called MLA documentation. You open that up, and if you're using the current edition of the book, this is going to be chapter 59. Is going to have a ton of information on how to do works cited entries. Right? Okay, so it's going to list tons and tons and tons of examples here. This one here, you're going to see. Okay, so starting on around page 550, you're going to see a bunch of examples. Article from a journal on the web, article from a magazine on the web, article from a newspaper on the web. They're all going to be pretty similar. So we're going to use that as an example. What you're going to want to do, the important thing with an online source is dates, right? date that it was published and the date that you accessed it. So let's make up some dates here. Let's say it's all the same date, so we're 3 June 2017. It's a web source, so I'm going to type web, and then the date accessed it is the same, and we're good. Now, if we want to include the source, we might put, larson.com or something like that, and that would mean that this site title would be different. Okay, but this could be all that you need, right? Because what you've got here is you've got enough information so that someone can actually go find that source. So right here, the author's name, the title, the site, the date the date it was published, and the date you accessed it. Now, what if someone goes to find the source and the article has changed? Well, that's one of the reasons why you include the dates, because content is live and can be updated the second you leave the site. That's why it's kind of like an honor code. On your honor, you put in the date, and hopefully everybody trusts you that you didn't mess with stuff. So these are the basics. This is not everything you need to know, but again, we've got formatting, InText Citation, and this is kind of what Works Cited looks like. This isn't everything you need to know. It's not even a very good explanation, but it's really quick and brief. And let me show you something else real fast. It's really good. Okay, if you have questions, you can go to the Purdue OWL website, which is at owl.english.purdue.edu. They've got great resource information. Let me back up just a bit. Okay, so if you go to owl. Let me do this one more time. When you first get to the site, if you look on the right hand side, you're going to see MLA. You can go here. All the information you need for citing sources right there. So if you want to see a sample paper or a sample works cited, just click on it. It's going to give you some samples and explain things. It's a great resource. In fact, this could probably replace a lot of textbooks on this. It's really solid, really good. So hopefully this video was helpful to you. If it didn't make sense, check out the Purdue OWL website, check out your textbook, and ask me questions in the forum below. So thanks for watching. Bye.